this.
So Irkaan, throughout the call we've been speaking about like what it is you want to really get out of yourself. And you know, obviously we didn't come here to waste time. We were just here to we've realized that what we're doing right now isn't actually getting closer to where we want to be. You mentioned you were
Mm.
looking to get out of your construction job because that's all that South Africans can do. And obviously when it comes to having being a South African, like you don't want to sort of be the odd man out. But then you realize like
Yeah.
because you didn't want to disappoint your parents, you didn't want to make them make a fool out of yourself or have that fear of failure, essentially, and being as you mentioned, the the black sheep of the family. You didn't want
Hmm.
to you wanted to make sure that something is safe and have something guaranteed. Now, obviously because this job isn't actually getting you the guarantee, the success or the certainty you want, you're looking for an elsewhere position. And this is because of this feeling, we're now further and further away from our goal. Now, what we have for you to actually get you out of this misery and closer to that life where you can be with your family and actually make them turn this dream into a reality is through this 4 month plan. I'm very more than happy to share with you if you like.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. I mean, like I said, like you don't have to if you don't want to, right? It's completely up to you.
I mean, let's get straight to it.
Awesome. So, like you said, you do want to get to the point where you can get out of your job and actually replace your income in the next 6 months, right? Now, realistically, what that looks like is a sort of process. We tend to say a 4 month plan where you learn the basic fundamentals because you're a boxer, right?
Yeah, yeah. Box man, you know.
Or I've been leaving. Awesome. Well, look, basically in these 4 months, we're basically going to be teaching you foundations, which is basically like when you hop in a gym, you sort of get you familiar with the pads and all the things around. The second month will then be showing you some advanced techniques when it comes to, like boxing, like hitting the pad right, getting some uppercuts, different ways of using the gloves, right? Now the third month is where we actually start implementing. That's when we start learning, okay, where to jab, different techniques, and actually getting a bit of an understanding of how it sort of works, right? And the fourth one is where we then send you into the cage and you get that full-time experience when it comes to getting some jabs, getting some actual real life experience and some success maybe if you win a first fight.
Mm. Yeah,
Does that make sense so far for you?
yeah, for sure. You know, it's basically you can't just expect to run before you learn how to walk. So I get what you're saying, man. Take the
Mm.
basics and then work my way up.
Awesome. Awesome. And look, this doesn't have to be in 4 months. It can be in 6 months, 8 months, even 12 months. Like it really depends on how bad it is that you want to do it and you want to get out of it. Right. Now, do you want to go ahead and do you want me to explain it a bit further on how we can actually help you out with these 4 plans?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. And just to be clear, like you don't have to do anything here. Like it's completely up to you. Like we're not
Hmm.
here to force you to do anything.
Yep, I get that, man.
Awesome. Awesome. So, the first bit. I mean, because you were mentioning, right, when it came to being in this construction job, like because you're looking to get out of it and it's all you sort of know, there's no real structure when it comes to knowing where to go and actually building that life and getting a direction of how to get out of this job, right? So because
Hmm.
it's it made you sort of feel stuck, like you had no other option, and also just like feeling a bit helpless. It's like we don't want that, right? So how we're sort of going to overcome this is actually going to provide you these step-by-step training programs. What that then means is because it's not random, you're not learning anything all over the place. It's actually it's a blueprint for how we can actually get you out of your job into a role and actually get you closer to living that dream life, right? Now, the great thing about it is you can go your own pace. Obviously, you're working these long hours, so you can use them whenever you need to. When it comes to like work outside, whenever you feel the need to do it, which depending on how bad it is you want to get out of your current situation, that's what's gonna
Mhm.
happen. That's what's gonna make you actually get out of it. Does that make sense so far?
It does make sense, man. I completely get it, you know. I have to basically, essentially, the faster I work, the harder I work, the faster I get there where I want to get.
Mm. And why would it be helpful for you to use these step by steps?
Well, essentially, it will, it's like gym. You basically, it's like a boost. The supplements is a boost. So essentially, you can use the supplements, which are the step by step, in order to boost myself and get there faster.
Mm. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and as well, like being in a construction job and trying out these all these different things, right? It's hard to find someone that can direct you and guide you to the right path, right? Obviously, when you have a
Yep.
step-by-step program, you can sort of follow it to your T, but then is there anyone that's actually going to be there to help you out and actually guide you into doing better, right? Well, we're actually
Hmm.
going to have like a live coach for you. That's how we're going to overcome that is by one, being able to answer any question you have, actually go over any parts that you may have missed or when you're stuck at, we can actually get you to overcome them and actually move and actually understand this at a faster rate. You know, does this all make sense for you?
Yeah, for sure that coach that will really help me out in case I get confused and I can just ask him anything, so for sure.
And why would this be important for you to have?
Because essentially, I've tried other things in the past and I've never really, whenever I was a bit confused, I've always wanted that clarity to help me or explain to me what I need or what I'm looking for, the answers that I'm looking for to help me get that clarity that I'm looking for.
Hmm, awesome. And I mean, thirdly, because looking for the clarity, right? It can be hard to look for it by yourself. I'm sure you've gone through construction and also trying out this job shipping. Although you're there alone, it's hard to do it by yourself, especially with job shipping, right? This then sort of starts a spiral of okay, you got to be your own motivator, which
Mm-hmm.
it's great, but we don't want that, right?
Mm.
Mm.
Yep, we don't want that.
So how we overcome that is actually by providing you a community as well. Have people that are
Okay.
like-minded individuals that are also actually towards the trajectory of your life. Like they have the similar story, similar background. I know being in construction, you're not around the right kind of people. They're around people that are older, that are not really, as you've mentioned before, they're sort of stuck. They're just sort of doing the same thing again and again and again. They're not really going anywhere with their life. So how we overcome that is, yeah, we provide this community because then you're actually not alone doing this and with real feedback. We're
Mm-hmm.
able to move forward. It literally becomes normal to win. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, for sure. Because you always surround yourself by, so essentially if I have the right group, the right people, essentially I'm gonna boost my learning speed.
Mm, okay, awesome. And moving on, like you did the last bit, obviously, with all this, the step-by-step guide, the the coaching, and also the community, right? It all means nothing because if we don't actually do anything with it, because with dropshipping, you had, you know, a way to do it. You had a method. You had some people that were giving you some advice on how to do it. But then ultimately, the results speak for themselves. We weren't able to actually get that result of getting out of our job towards our dream life, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So how we're going to overcome that is we're going to teach you how to implement it, how to actually get real life results in the form of pathways, in the form of actually getting other roles outside of the community, or even getting one inside the community if you're lucky, you know?
Okay.
Now, it's all about actually using the skill. You know, there are a few parts that we can actually get you in depending on what it is you want. But ultimately, the goal is not just to learn, it's to actually apply and get outcomes. I mean, does that make sense for you?
Yeah, for sure.
And why would that
Definitely
be
makes sense.
helpful for you? Mm.
Because I mean, the community, not only the community, but just everything that comes as a whole, man. It's just I find it very useful, and it's a new whole system for me. So it will definitely be something new, but with everything we mentioned, it will definitely help me grow as a person also.
So everything we've just covered from the step-by-step videos, the live coaches, the actual community we provide you, and then implementation on how you can actually get results is how we can actually take you from feeling stuck, exhausted in the wrong crowd to actually closer to getting a real skill where you can actually get out of your job towards that dream life that you want. I mean, do you feel like following this plan would solve the problems that you mentioned before?
Yeah, it will because I mean, that gives me that accountability, gives me the opportunities and the skills, and it gives me the connection and the environment that I'm looking for with people that's like-minded like me, and just that's gonna help me accountable if I feel like I'm going down the wrong path, or the resources and the coaches definitely are gonna boost my learning phase and basically get me faster to my goals.
Awesome. So, Irkaan, where do we go
Hmm.
from here?
The only thing is now to just start